Please be seated. Good evening, Deputy Lord Lieutenant, His Honour Judge Michael Kay, Mayor of Hartsmere, Councillor John Graham, Mayor of Elstree and Boreham Wood, Councillor Mrs. Sandra Parnell, Mayor of Shoham, Eitan Perego, Shoham Municipal Councillor Pele Reshev, Rabbi Alex Chapa, Rabbi Tanya Sakhanovich, Podya Arbaza, representative of Excellency, the Ambassador of Israel, our honoured guests and friends. I'm Councillor Jeremy Newmark, and I will be your host for this evening's proceedings. And Shalom, Baruchim Habayim, Anu Me'od Smechim, V'nirkashim L'kabel Et Pnei HaArodim HaMechuvadim Shalanu V'Shoham V'Boreham Wood HaEled L'Uriah and Uriah Histori Zeh Tismachu L'Shmoa Shezeh V'Erech HaPeh הדיווח העברי שלי בציבור ארץ. אחזור לאנגלית של הערב. As I just explained, I'm not going to risk my Hebrew public speaking ability any further than that brief welcome. As colleagues know, I would never be one to employ hyperbole when speaking in this chamber, but some of you will have picked up from Hebrew just now that I refer to this as a truly historic event. And it is. Boreham Wood has not been part of a town swimming ceremony for over 40 years. We're delighted this evening to be adding Shoham to our existing twin towns of Offenburg in Germany and Fontenay-en-Rosay in France. It's also the first twinning of a UK municipality with one in Israel for decades. And for Shoham, it's the first international twinning that they have agreed to participate in. 40 years ago, town twinning was all about formality, signed agreements, and bureaucracy. Thankfully, things have moved on, and our aim this evening is to keep the formal side of things as short as possible, and to enable all of you to spend time mingling and meeting with our wonderful guests from Shoham, and to start to seed the relationships that will build upon the agreement that's being signed this evening. So I will end my introduction here and ask the Mayor of Elstree and Boreham Wood, Councillor Mrs. Sandra Parnell, to address you. It's been a pleasure to work alongside the town mayor on a cross-party basis to nurture and deliver this twinning agreement. So, Madam Mayor, when you're ready, over to you.
Okay, I'm not used to this now. I finished here a long time ago, so I'm not used to this. But anyway, good evening, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for being here. So great to see so many faces that I know. And Cynthia, thank you for coming. It's a pleasure for me, you know that. Okay, firstly, I would like to welcome the Deputy Lord Lieutenant of Hertfordshire, His Honour Judge Michael Kay. Thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate it. And I certainly do, after 7 years of waiting. Thank you. We also have Hodaya Alzada is representing the Ambassador of Israel. Hertfordshire Borough Mayor, Councillor John Graham, thank you very much for being here. Managing Director Sajina Bilge and other distinguished guests to greet our visitors from Shoham, who are Eitan Pettigrew, our Mayor of Shoham, thank you. We have Councillor Pele Reshev, where is he? There you are, okay. And Nimrod Galanti, thank you very much for being here. You know how things sound to see you all. This is a very exciting occasion, the signing of a town twinning agreement between the towns of Elstree and Boreham Wood in Hertfordshire, UK, and Shoham in Israel. I have waited 7 years to see our town linked to a town in Israel. And here we are. This evening, finally celebrating our link. As well as the many important members of the community, I have here tonight some of my own family, my son and daughter-in-law Stephen and Sharon, my dear friends who have always supported me with everything that I do sitting here. It's wonderful to see you all, really. you've come here this evening to recognise this very special occasion. Thank you so much to all of you for giving up your time to be here. We really do appreciate this. However, I do have just one more special thanks, and that goes to Danny Hunter. He is the chairman, owner of Bournemouth Football Club, a very, very special friend. I would also like to thank all the staff who have helped arrange this visit for our 3 distinguished guests from Shoham and have set up the ceremony and reception here tonight. Thank you to Jeremy for being so hands-on with the itinerary. You've done a great job. Thank you, all of you, from my heart, as I know this is actually happening after all these years. I'm so very happy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, for those inspiring words. It's a real honour, both for Boreham Wood and for Shoham, that this twinning has been so warmly supported by His Majesty's Lord Lieutenant of Hertfordshire. And we deeply appreciate being joined here in the chamber this evening by Deputy Lord Lieutenant, His Honour Judge Michael Kay, KC. And it gives me great pleasure to ask him to address us, my Deputy Lord Lieutenant.
On behalf of His Majesty King Charles III and the Lord Lieutenancy of Hertfordshire, I'm delighted to welcome our distinguished guests to this twinning ceremony, and in particular our distinguished guests from Israel, the Mayor of Shoham, Eitan, I'm going to get this wrong, Hatigro, and the Chair of Shoham's International Relations Committee, Councillor Pele Gresham. I visited Israel on many occasions, but I've never had the pleasure of seeing Shoham. I have, however, by the miracle of the internet, seen the Mayor of Shoham and Councillor Gresham. In preparation for tonight, I searched via a well-known search engine for information about Shoham. There are 2 videos about Shoham which are readily available on the internet. One is a recording of a remote meeting hosted by Nefesh B'Nefesh between our 2 distinguished guests, amongst others, and prospective immigrants thinking of living in Shoham. The other video is one in a remarkable series made by someone who styles themselves the relaxing walker. It is a silent walking tour of Shoham. Whether in words or simply in pictures, Shoham has the appearance of paradise on earth. It is peaceful, orderly, and blessed with green spaces and a forest park. It is a vibrant and expanding new town with strong foundations in the fields of culture, education, and sport. I noted the Performing Arts Centre, the many schools and the sports facilities. Of particular interest to me, as you might imagine, was what was described as the retiree centre and the activity club. It is also clear that there is considerable care for the environment and an immense sense of civic pride in Shoham. This is a very exciting opportunity for the community in Hertfordshire to forge ties with Shoham and vice versa. I am sure that both sides will derive huge benefits from this new relationship. As they say, Kol HaKavod, well done to all those elected representatives and others in Hertfordshire and Shoham who have made this twinning possible.
Thank you very much, Deputy Lord Lieutenant. Make 2 two more very important welcomes before we move on. We're really delighted to have been joined this evening by two of the leaders of the Elstree and Boreham Wood Youth Council, Leo and Amy. We're really pleased to have you here this evening, and we're really delighted that plans are already afoot to solidify this twinning and this relationship, particularly at youth level. There'll be more about that later. Now, the mayor, our friend Eitan Marego, is a man of many talents. In fact, he's a former pilot in the Israeli Air Force, and that's a fact that informed the pupils of Kenilworth Primary School when he visited and met with them earlier today. But in my view, much more significant than that achievement is the fact that he leads a political coalition comprising every single party represented on the municipal council in Shoham. We're not at that point yet here in Elstree and Boreham Wood, we're in Heartsmere, but with elections coming up in May, who knows? Mayor Pereira, I'm delighted to invite you to speak this evening.
Thank you, Lord Lieutenant Arthur, His Honor George Michael K., Mayor of Elstree, Councillor John Brown, and his mayors, Town Mayor of Elstree and Boreham Wood, Councillor Mr. Shoham, Principal Position Leader Elstree involved in Town Councillor Jeremy Oman, Reverend Alex, Chapter Reverend Heinkel, Mr. Danny Hunter, Chairman of Boreham Wood, distinguished guests. I'm honored and deeply moved to stand before you representing Shoham, here in Elstree Boreham Wood to sign a twinning town agreement between our two communities. So far, Shoham doesn't have such an agreement. It seems we are waiting for the right time, for the exact and right place on the planet that has similar character to our town. A place with sense of community that is looking for collaboration that interests us as well. A few months ago, my friend Alex, our council member, introduced me to your lovely town. After a short study, a few visits, and a great meeting with the energetic and lovely Mr. Samuel, we felt like we are right on. Our world became a global village. Technology allows us to create connection, conversation, and activities of anywhere at any time. But still, there is no substitute for face-to-face, meeting personal conversation and sharing ideas and values. I am convinced that the twinning town agreement between us will combine technology and personal aspects in the best way for the well-being for our community. Thanks to all who are involved in this new and exciting agreement. We will all do our best to make it succeed. I wish all of us Mazal Tov and a great success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mayor Eitan. Now, we're truly honoured to be joined by three mayors this evening. I'm delighted that the Mayor of Heartsmere, my colleague John Graham, is here together with his mayoress. You know, in local government circles, the colloquial collective term for a group of mayors is the chain gang. Now, I don't move in those kind of circles myself, but I'm happy to say that Councillor Graham brings gravitas, dignity and prestige to every event that he attends, and his presence here this evening sends a clear signal that in twinning with Boreham Wood, Shoham would also have the benefit of the friendship and links with settlements across the entire borough of Heartsmere. And Mr. Mayor, over to you.
Thank you very much, the Chairman. Deputy Lord Lieutenant, Mayor of Elstree and Boreham Wood, Mayor of Shoham, honoured guests from Shoham, honoured guests from the Israeli Embassy and from Elstree and Boreham Wood. And thank you very much for inviting us here tonight, Bob and myself, to join in this such an auspicious event as it of Boreham Wood and Elstree. It is a pleasure to welcome our guests from Shoham to Heartsmere, particularly here in Boreham Wood. We are delighted as a borough that Elstree and Boreham Wood Town Council took the decision to join with Shoham in a town twinning agreement. And Mr. Mayor, we are delighted that you and your town chose Elston Wood to be the town to twin with. You talked earlier of waiting for the right town, and I'm glad we were there for you to find us. So well done. Formulating this link where the traditions and cultures of both towns can be shared will benefit Elston and Bournemouth. And I can say that anything that is good for Bournemouth is also good for the borough of Hartsdale. I know that agreement talks of the true spirit of fellowship. A wonderful word is fellowship, and I'm sure tonight is the start of a long-standing and mutually beneficial relationship between the two towns. And I understand, as Chairman, you're already planning events for the first year of twinning, including a football match to be hosted by Bournemouth Football Club. And I understand the team in Shoham is getting ready already. Is that right? I understand you're going to football club to scout them out tomorrow. So you don't show them too much. But personally, we're very proud of Bournemouth Football Club, aren't we?
We are.
We're very proud. We're very proud of the two reasons, aren't we? We love that prowess on the pitch, and all of us remember the FA Cup last year. But from my side, as being a local council for such a long time, I've given great respect to Danny and his work in the community and what value he adds to this community. And hosting this football match is a fantastic idea, and thank you to the club for volunteering your support and putting your weight behind this swimming agreement. So let's move forward. Now, if I understand rightly, soon to happen is the signing agreement. So don't let me stand in the way of that. It's taken such a long time to do. So let's get the pens out and get them sharpened. So let me just conclude by adding my congratulations to our student board for entering into this country agreement. Thank you to Shoham for choosing us as the right town, and welcome our visitors to Shoham to the borough of Hartsdale. Thank you, everybody.
Our acting town clerk, Tracy Fulton, will now oversee the signing of the official twinning agreement. And whilst they're walking down, I'd also like to welcome, recognise and thank Mr. Hugh Jones, the former town clerk of Elston Bournemouth Town Council, who's just unfortunately left the town council. Elston Bournemouth lost his Bishop's Orphans Day, but Hugh played a central role, travelled with me to Israel a few months ago in order to hold the initial talks to solidify the signing agreement. Thank you, Hugh, for everything you did, and we'll now sign on the dotted line.
Okay.
Whilst they're coming back up to the platform, I also wanted to particularly welcome and thank the Managing Director of Hartsdale Borough Council, Sajida Ridgely, for all of her help and support in ensuring this event could be held in the Chamber, and particularly for, as the legal proper officer of the council, giving her statutory permission for the Israeli flag to be flown in the chamber. Because that isn't a straightforward process, and it does require official permission, and we're delighted that you've enabled us to do that this evening. The town mayor will now read the English text of the agreement.
Thank you very much. Shoham, Elstree, Warwood Town Trinity. We, Councillor Sandra Parnell and Ethan Pettiborough, right or wrong? Okay. Mayor of Elstree, Warwood, UK and Shoham Israel. Freely and democratically elected representatives of our fellow citizens, certainly we, in accordance with the sincere wishes and real needs of our population, aware that our civilization and people found their origins in free local communities and the spirit of liberty and self-government. Considering that history shall continue in a wider world, this world will be truly humane when men and women live freely in free cities, convinced of the necessity of respecting the principle of human rights, which we hold as inviolable and inalienable, recognizing that globalization and independence create a renewed imperative to build strong ties between our towns and our nations. To take on this day a solemn oath, according to the relationships established between our two towns, Elstree and Warwood, UK, and Shoham, Israel, to maintain permanent ties between the governments of our municipalities in order to promote dialogue, to exchange experiences, to implement joint activities which may foster mutual improvement in domains that fall within our competences, with particular focus upon education, sport, culture, business, and economic ties. To encourage and support exchanges between our fellow citizens in order to ensure through greater mutual understanding and efficient cooperation the true spirit of fellowship. To act according to the rules of hospitality with respect for our diversities in an atmosphere of trust and spirit of solidarity. To guarantee for all people the possibility of participating in the exchanges between our two communities without discrimination of any form. To promote universal values of liberty, democracy, equality, and rule of law through our exchanges and cooperation. Focus our efforts using all means at our disposal to supporting the success of this essential undertaking of peace, progress, and prosperity.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. When we first discussed with Shoham, Zoom call was set up with the councillor who chaired their International Relations Committee, and I was told that this councillor was a local Shoham resident called Pele. And in one of those bizarre coincidences, I found out when we got onto the call that this was the same Pele Brescia who I had worked alongside many, many years ago when he was a leading figure in the young diplomatic cause of the World Jewish Congress, and we were both involved in work to combat global anti-Semitism. So it's been a real pleasure for me to re-engage with Pele, to remind him that football is football and soccer is football and American football. And even though we both have significantly less hair than we did back in those days, it gives me great pleasure to invite him to read the Hebrew text of the town agreement.
Thank you, Jeremy. I'll read it in Hebrew. ברית ערים תאומות, שוהם, אלסטרי ובורנווד, אנו, גברת סנדרה פרנל, ראשת הערים אלסטרי ובורנווד, בריטניה, ובעל איתן פטיגרו, ראש מועצת שוהם, ישראל, נבחרנו באופן חופשי כנציגים של תושבינו, בטוחים שאנו פועלים בשם הרצונות הכנים והצרכים האמיתיים של האוכלוסייה שלנו, מודעים לכך שהתרבויות והעמים מצאו את מקורם בקהילות מקומיות חופשיות ורוח החירות וממשל עצמי, והתחשב בכך שההיסטוריה תימשך בעולם יותר נרחב, אבל עולם זה יהיה באמת אנושי, כאשר אנשים ונשים חיים בחופשיות בערים חופשיות, משוכנעים בצורך של כיבוד העיקרון של זכויות האדם, אשר אנו מחזיקים בו כבלתי ניתן להפרה, בלתי ניתן להכחשה. מכירים בכך שהתלות ההדדית של החברות לאומיות שונות גדלה, מביאה סדר דמוקרטי עולמי בינלאומי שהוא הבסיס לשלום אמיתי. נשבעים ביום זה שבועת כבוד. בריטניה, בהתאם לקשרים שנוסדו בין שתי הערים שלנו, אלסטרי ובורנווד בבריטניה, ושוהם בישראל, לשמר ולתחזק קשרים קבועים בין השלטון של הערים שלנו על מנת לקדם דיאלוג בינינו, לחלוק ניסיון וליישם פעילויות משותפות שעשויות לטפח שיפור הדדי בתחומים הנכללים בסמכותנו, לעודד ולתמוך בחילופי משלחות בין התושבים שלנו, על מנת להבטיח באמצעות הבנה הדדית גדולה יותר ושיתוף פעולה פורה, שזוהי הרוח האמיתית של אחווה, לפעול לפי כללי האירוח תוך כבוד למחלוקות שלנו, באווירה של אמון וברוח של אחדות. להבטיח לכלל האנשים את האפשרות להשתתף בחילופי המשלחות בין שתי הקהילות שלנו ללא אפליה מכל סוג. לקדם את הערכים העולמיים של חירות, דמוקרטיה, שוויון ושלטון החוק באמצעות חילופי המשלחות שלנו ושיתוף הפעולה. למקד את מאמצינו תוך שימוש בכל האמצעים העומדים לרשותנו כדי לתמוך בהצלחה של ההתחייבות החיונית לשלום, קדמה ושגשוג.
Thank you, Pele. I would also, at this moment, like to welcome I'm told, quite significant number of people that are watching the live stream of this event on YouTube, a number of whom are in Shoham, in Israel, where it's just after 10 o'clock. So thank you very much for sticking with us, and for those of you that are watching here in the UK. And those some of the friends and relatives that are watching us in Bexhol. Friends, we live in a challenging global environment, as we heard from the Mayor of Shoham a few moments ago. And part of the reason that the council decided to embark on another twinning, and indeed to invest in our existing European twinnings, was as part of a post-Brexit effort to show that we recognise the dangers of insularity and the benefits of engagement beyond our own borders. In Boreham Wood, the wonderful Boreham Wood and Elstree Twin Town Association, known as BETTER, works tirelessly to support our twinning agreements and to build relationships across the towns involved. I'm pleased that BETTER representative Hermione Mason has joined us this evening and agreed to say a few words briefly about the principles behind town twinning. So, Hermione, if you'd like to switch your microphone on and address us.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Mayor and the Town Council for hosting. My name is Hermione Mason. I'm a committee member of the Boreham Wood and Elstree Twin Town Association, as you said, called BETTER. Unfortunately, our chairperson, Martin Amy, is unable to join us this evening, but sends her warm regards. On behalf of BETTER, I would like to welcome our visitors from Shoham to our special town. I hope that during your visit, you are getting the opportunity to appreciate our lives and customs here. As you have no doubt discovered today by visiting the new Sky Studios, I believe, our town is very proud to often be called the British Hollywood, with our worldwide film and television heritage. In addition, we are a stone's throw from the centre of London, with its famous landmarks, museums, theatres, and other attractions. Our association, BETTER, has for over 40 years promoted exchanges and links with our twin towns of Fulton Hill Court and Offenburg. We focus on organising various events within our community, such as musical evenings, dances, quizzes and sporting events, as well as hosting visitors from our partner towns to celebrate our multicultural links. Every year, we aim to arrange overseas trips to our twin towns, and we treasure the close relationships that are established through these exchanges. Over the years, we have also initiated school links with our twin towns. This interaction hugely benefits the pupils in their language studies and encourages them to get to know children from different cultures. It opens their eyes to the wider world and helps to expand their horizons, as you would have witnessed when visiting two of our local schools this morning. Finally, we also run French conversation sessions in the community where local people can improve their language capabilities and familiarize themselves with different traditions. That all demonstrates this town's strong commitment to global harmony. To close, may I reiterate our warm welcome to our special guests, and we very much hope you enjoy your stay here with us.
Thank you very much, Hermione. If you could convey our thanks to Martine and Eve, and unfortunately she couldn't be with us, as you said, but we know that she is immensely supportive of this swing and very keen for better to be involved in the nuts and bolts of the relationship moving forward. Before we move to the final section of the evening, I also wanted to welcome Luke Garrard, the team manager of Bournemouth Football Club, after a stunning victory early on this week. I'm also delighted that we've been joined by my colleagues, Councillor Dr. Harvey Cohen, representing the executive of Hartsmith Borough Council this evening, and my fellow opposition leader, the Liberal Democrat leader at Hartsmith Borough Council, Councillor Paul Richards. It's great to have you both here with us this evening. As we've said a few times this evening, tonight's about new relationships, but as much as it's about bilateral ties and it's about mutual support. And as much as that's the case, we can't avoid the fact that it's been a week of turmoil, trouble and tragedy in Israel and the West Bank. It's not for us to comment on any of that here this evening. However, as the region and the world mourns the death of innocent civilians, we hope that tonight's ceremony has sent out a message of hope, a message that whatever difficulties governments of whatever shade may have in delivering peace between peoples, we here involved in local governments, that tier of government that sits closest to individuals, closest to families and closest to neighbourhoods, are steadfastly committed to fostering and nurturing bonds of friendship, peace and trust, rooted in the shared values of our two nations, Britain and Israel. There's never been a more important time to invest in what I call municipal internationalism, bonds between communities that transcend any individual governments and ensure, long after those governments have consigned to history, the relationship between those two countries and their citizens remain firm and strong. And through this twinning, we are certain that the relationship between our two towns will become even further, even firmer, and even stronger, and go from strength to strength. Now, please now ask people to stand for the two national anthems. We will first play the Hatikva, and then our good friend Gregor will lead us on the bagpipes in the national anthem. Ask people to be seated whilst our guests walk through to greet you in the reception. After the guests have left, you'd like to leave the chamber by the doors at the rear, and you'll be directed through to the committee room where the reception is taking place. Thank you very much, and good evening.
All right, Dan.
Good.